The topics and opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests, and are not those of Pesmo Radio, its employees or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements of any radio show programs or products mentioned on air, on our website, social media accounts, and marketing materials. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to Pesmo Radio, its employees or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing Pesmo Radio.
Are you a songwriter? Are you looking to turn your songwriting passion into a full-time gig? Whether you are just at the start of your songwriting journey or a seasoned industry professional, this show is made for you. Welcome to the Songwriter Show, bringing together songwriting news, interviews, and community. Now, welcome your host, Sarantos.
Thank you for tuning in. Welcome back to the Songwriter Show. I'm your host, Sarantos. I'm a solo music artist who's been writing lyrics for as long as I can remember. Words are very important to me, and that's why I'm thrilled to host this show for you every Tuesday evening. I believe that every song is a story. The Songwriter Show is broadcast live on #1 ranked Pesmo Radio with listeners in all 26 countries in the world and every state in the U.S. The station is licensed with ASCAP, BMI, CSAC, Sound Exchange, and has partnerships throughout the music industry, including iHeartRadio and exposure to over 300 million listeners. Tonight's guest is Michael Coleman. See Your Shadow Songwriting is a Phoenix-based musical creation entity. It is a collaborative network of musicians and vocalists run by artistic director Michael the Metropolitan Cowboy Coleman, who writes and produces all the work done by the organization. See Your Shadow has had 3 iTunes #1s on South Africa's country music chart, I Will Tell Jesus You Said Hello, My Worth, and Today I Do Became I Don't, and an iTunes Top 20 in Great Britain with their Christmas tune, Christmas on Cell Block 9, and in 2020, they were nominated for a Western Australia Music Award, and their song I Will Tell Jesus You Said Hello was picked as one of the best independent country songs of 2020. See Your Shadow's work can be heard on radio stations throughout the U.S. and around the world.
And now, welcome this week's special guest.
Welcome to the show, Michael. How are you doing tonight?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good, and thanks for having me on.
Oh, you're welcome, my friend. So you're out in Phoenix, huh?
Yes.
So,
and to come in. It's windy out here. I can smell the rain coming.
So you got to tell me, my friend, what is cold in Arizona? Because I'm in Chicago, and I look outside and there's probably like 20 feet of snow piled high, and it's been like minus 20 a couple days ago. So what's cold for you there?
Well, cold in Arizona is in the 60s. Although we get down to the 30s here, but I have an Ohio tie, so I know cold as I know cold as well. So
yeah, all right, cool. Tell us a little bit about what you got going on recently here.
Well, we're really excited about the latest piece that we produced last year, and we just released it last month. It's our female empowerment piece, and we're so super excited about that because it's the very first ever hip hop record done by a woman of color.
Cool.
And it's also the very first danceable record, to my knowledge, that has the banjo as its lead instrument. And so we really just went really outside the box for this in order to raise money and awareness for an organization called RAIN, which is the Rape Abuse Incest National Network, and we're partnering with them to really what they do is they help survivors of sexual assault get the help that they need.
That's a great cause, my friend. I'm very happy to hear that, and that sounds like a great project. Is it out yet or not yet?
Yes, it is. Actually, we released it a couple of weeks ago. I think we're in the 3rd week, maybe, and we're counting down to International Women's Day, which is on March 8th.
Okay, wonderful. And how has that been received so far?
Oh my goodness, it has been received very well. I've been really surprised. We got up to number 2 on the South African pop chart, and we were featured in Music Row magazine, which really surprised me because they're really diehard country, and I actually have a subscription to that magazine. And when I saw that we were in it, a review of the piece, and it was a very good review, I was like, oh my goodness, it was kind of like one of those. Okay, well, somebody's taking notice of the work that we're doing,
Yeah, that's very cool. Tell us a little bit about what is your mission with this project? I mean, you explained a little bit about what you're supporting, but what do you hope to achieve?
Well, one of the things that has always been what I've always fought for or tried to raise awareness on is fostering self-confidence and self-esteem, and women's empowerment has really been one of the issues that I have been really that I've been really an advocate for, and because it seems like that's a thing that women struggle with a lot, and I've seen it in my own family, and why we wanted to partner with the RAIN organization is because I lost my mom last year, or in 2019, excuse me.
My condolences.
And one of the things that when I was taking care of her, that she revealed to me was that she herself was a survivor on many occasions, and then as we started talking about that, it all made sense as to why she was the way she was. Our relationship, it sort of brought everything full circle, and I just didn't want other women to have to go through, carry that burden with them if they need to get help. I want them to feel empowered to get help.
Yeah, absolutely. Tell us a little bit about your family, Michael. Any of them musical?
It's so funny. Yes and no. There's a lot of talent. There's a lot of talent in the family, and then there's no talent in the family. But what's so funny is my great grandmother, up until the time she was 100 and something, I think 101, 102, actually sang with a blues band and performed throughout the Southwest here. And she didn't die till she was like 107, I think. But up until the time she was over 100, she performed live. And my uncle actually wrote a few songs back in the 60s that were recorded, and actually had a top 10 record in Great Britain back in the 60s.
That's great. How did you get started down this road? What age were you? What inspired you to get going in this direction? Well,
I've always had a love for music. We always listened to several different things, and there were several different genres when I was growing up, and I think what actually got me started was actually just a whim, and I'll shout out to the teachers of the world, because it was Mr. Harry Weisgerber that came to speak when I was 9 years old, and he came to speak at my elementary school because they had a program where kids who were in the elementary school could perform and play in the band and orchestra at the junior high school, and he was the conductor of the band and orchestra at the junior high school. So he came recruiting, and I was just really impassioned by what he was saying, and so I went home and asked my mom if I could join. And after probably about an hour or so of arguing back and forth
Is that all?
Yeah, exactly, about how are you going to afford it and whatnot and all this, she said yes, and then I picked an instrument. The first instrument that came to my mind was the violin. I said, well, I could play the violin because they were providing the instruments, and then that's actually how it all got started.
Wow, that's really cool. I was going to ask you, but what instruments do you play other than the violin, obviously?
Yeah, well, I don't play it as well as I should anymore. I typically tap on the piano a little bit, but I knew you were going to ask me this, so I actually started thinking about my response to this question. And my best instrument that I utilize is my mind.
That's great. Yeah.
Because we create many different types of work here at See Your Shadow, and with so many different genres, so many different styles, so many different projects, and not only music, but video, television, all these different things. And my biggest and most and best instrument is my mind.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about your work there. Are you like the producer? Do you hook people up with musicians? Do you write songs for them? Tell us like what exactly you do over there.
Sure. I am the artistic director. That's my title. I didn't want to pick CEO or any of those things like that, because that really doesn't encompass what I do. I think being the artistic director, the one that puts everything all together, really encompasses what I do. Now, the best way to describe See Your Shadow, and I really didn't think about this until we started doing press tours last year when we started getting our notoriety, was think of it as me as the Quincy Jones at the top of the pyramid, and then everybody that sings for me, everybody that plays for me is underneath with me up at the top of the pyramid. I mean, but that's the best way to describe what it is that I and we do, because think about when he releases his work, it's under his name, but he's never the one singing on it or performing on. He's the one that brings it all to life, and that's what I do.
Okay, and are you kind of like a label too? Yes.
Okay. That is one of the we do have a label arm of it. We have a television branch. We have anything that's in the arts that's relative to what we're doing. We have a branch for it.
Okay, and you basically, when you look at artists, do you actually sign artists too, or do they just come to you and do like work for hires, or do they do partnerships with you? How does that work?
It just all depends on what the project is. I actually went down the signing and management route for that, and discovered that wasn't for me per se, because I'm a stickler when it comes to certain things, and I've been described as Ike Turner at times when it comes to my passion for what it is I'm doing when I'm putting a project together, and that could be a good thing or a bad thing, but I didn't take it as a good thing at the time that one of my singers called me that.
Yeah. Okay. If there's a musician that you'd want to jam with, who would it be?
Oh my goodness, because there are so many. And I was asked this recently, and I'm going to repeat the answer that I said there, because it really is true to my heart. Because there's so many musicians that people do not know, and I encountered a guitar player years ago. His name was Jeff Smith, and he's a studio musician, and he was just one of the best guitar players that I've ever heard. I mean, he's just incredible. And his footprint is on my early work, because we did so much work together. And right before we got our first placement in a film, it was our country and western hip hop hybrid, Like a Kid Again, and he died right before the movie came out.
Wow.
That it was in. And so if I could work with him again, that would be who I would want to jam with, because he was so incredible and just gone so soon. And like I said, there's so many people that breathe life into the work that we listen to every day as consumers of music, that we don't know who they are, and they really are the unsung heroes of every piece of music that's created.
Yeah, that's so true, so true. We got a first question of the night. Jerry's calling in and asking, film and TV, he heard you mention something. Do you sign on songs as a publishing deal to help people get into film and TV?
You know what? Not per se. But however, like I said, it depends on what the project is and how I'm inspired. Now, generally, what I do is I have a whole catalog, and I market the catalog that we've created over the years. But I do welcome working with anybody, if you're a composer or if you have the same level of passion, and we create a work together, I would definitely put all the resources of See Your Shadow behind it to get it somewhere where I think it needs to go. So it just all depends.
Yeah, so more into collaboration, and if you do something with someone, then you'll push that song in your channels, kind of thing.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And if we're not the right vehicle, I don't mind, because it is all we're all in this together. So it is all a stepping stone. If I can't do something for it, but I think okay, well, this might be good over here, I'll point you in the direction that I think you need to go. Yeah,
that's fair enough. And do you, when you collaborate or work with people, do you work with all sorts of people, writers, musicians? How does that work in your studio or in your production?
For sure. Writers, musicians, actors, because we film all our own videos. We do everything's in-house, and so yeah. I mean, basically, my passion for the arts, and if you have a passion for the arts as well, then we can work together. We can find something that we can do together. It's just getting together with people that have the same passions and that are willing to work.
Yeah. So we got another caller with a question, Jenny. She's asking if she decides or she tries to work with you or your production company. She's like, are there any costs involved up front, or do you guys kind of mutually do your part and then you help push it because you got an ownership interest in it?
It all depends on the project. Generally, when I work with folks that are part of that I bring into the See Your Shadow network of stars, is what I call them. We will front all the costs. And the reason why I do that is because then I can direct where the project goes from there. Yeah,
I gotcha.
So if someone wants to work with me, all I ask for them is to have the passion and some talent. And if the project and if a project comes along, because I really immerse myself in all the projects that we do for See Your Shadow. So I just need people that want to take the ride with me.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. Yeah, I get it. You want to kind of screen people out to make sure it's a fit, and we're all at different stages of development. I've been doing this 8 years. I was very different 8 years ago or 5 years ago or even a year ago than I am now. So I get it. You got limited resources and you want to make sure it's a fit in some direction.
And I want to make sure that people can get to where it is that they want to go. I think of See Your Shadow as a conduit for folks, kind of like a bridge, and I'll give you an example of that. One of the members of the See Your Shadow network of stars is a singer from Columbus. Her name is Sonia Latrice, and we were working on a project together when I was asked to write the theme song for the NAGAA Softball World Series. And so when I got the idea, I called her up and said, "Hey, I got this. I got this project. You know, are you interested?" And so we recorded the project, and then we were asked to do a set. She was asked to be the opening act for the headliner that they brought in. Now, keep in mind, the Softball World Series is the largest amateur sporting event in the United States that they hold every year.
Sure. Yeah.
So from just, you know, her being part of the network of stars, you know, 3 weeks later she's performing for as the opening act for I forget who she was opening for, but in front of 10,000 people, and we were able to get the song on the Touchstone's Jukebox network, and so it's just that I was that bridge to push her along.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you know what? At the end of the day, karma always comes back. It's very cool of you to do that. So, Michael, in like a minute, we're going to hear your song here. Tell us a little bit about the song we're going to play. What inspired it? What do you want us to take from it?
Oh, well, I Know My Worth is our female empowerment anthem, and what is unique about this particular piece is it was very hard for me. It's very hard for me to write, actually, because it's a female empowerment anthem that's written by a man, and it really is coming from an authentic place. And so we're really excited about this. And what I want people to take away from it is that we all can define what it is that we are worth, and no matter where we come from, the road that gets us there, that is one thing that we have the power over. We can define how it is people are going to treat us and what our worth is.
Awesome. All right, Michael, my friend, that's great. So check out this song, everybody. Michael, hang on, and then we'll come back and talk a little bit more, okay?
Okay, good.
Awesome. All right, everybody, check this out. Here we go.
Say I know my worth. I know my worth. Say I know my worth. I know my worth. Say I know my worth. Say I know my worth.
Ladies, listen up, cause we always had it rough. All the thoughts in our head saying we're not good enough. Many lies that we are told from the products that are sold. You're too fat, you're too thin, you're too young, you're too old. Living up to perfection as defined by someone else. Surefire way to lose your sense of self. Your value is the one thing you can demand. Rise up, speak up, it's time to take a stand.
I'm worthy. I'm worthy, worthy. I'm worthy, worthy. I'm worthy, worthy. Say I know my worth. Say I know my worth. Say I know my worth. Say I know my worth.
Doing the same job for pennies on a dollar, putting up with the cheating and the baby mama drama, getting all your loving from a man who ain't real, forgiving all the pain that he makes you feel, acting like you're crazy, going out of your mind when you only have one life. You ain't got the time, being treated like a queen is what you deserve. Rise up, speak up, let your voice be heard.
I'm worthy. I said I'm worthy. I said I'm worthy. I said I'm worthy. Say I know my worth. Say I know my worth. Say I know my worth. Say I know my worth.
It's okay to say no, what you will not accept, cause less is not an option when you know you're the best. Choices of the past, interests that you earned for your bank account of life. Just lessons that you learned. Taking charge and control of your own direction. Don't mean you're being selfish. It's a sign of self-affection. On negativity, hit the pause. Rise up, speak up, and join the cause. Say it. Say it.
I know my worth. I know my worth.
Say it. Say it.
I know my worth. I know my worth.
Say it. Say it.
I know my worth. I know my worth. My worth. My worth. My worth. I know my worth. I know my worth. Say I know my worth. Say I know my worth.
Wow, Michael, that was really cool, man. Thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Oh, thanks. That's really a never say never piece, because when we rebranded ourselves last year to only focus on country and western, because before we were really known for our dance music, and I said I was never going to do another danceable record that wasn't country, and then it just goes to show you that you have to go where your inspiration takes you, and so that's how we came up with this.
Never say never, right?
Yeah.
So one of the questions I like to ask every guest on the show is about scams. Tell us about something you might have fallen for or something that you warn your artists about.
Well, you know what? It's so funny because I actually have been thinking about this, and I think there's a couple of points that I want to make on this realm. The first point is, a person, as an artist, you should only spend money that you can afford to lose. All right, as a just in case. And also, industry experts aren't always experts in music. And I say that to say that's probably one of the biggest scams. People rely on a quote unquote person. Oh, this person has had this many hits or has written this, and so therefore that makes them an expert. That doesn't necessarily make that person an expert in your music. And I say that to say because, our breakout record, which was our ballad, I Will Tell Jesus You Said Hello, I shopped that around Nashville for a little bit, being told it was the most god-awful piece of music ever. And not only that, but it's a duet. Oh my God, who writes duets? You can't do anything with a duet. And it was just trash from stem to stern. And then it ended up being our breakout record, making the Christian radio chart and getting us our Western Australia nomination. So one of the scams is relying on other people to define your work. You let fans and the people that need to hear your work. They're the ones that define your work.
Yeah, that's very true. And the other thing I will kind of add there is you don't want people who've had hits like 20 years ago. You also want people that are, having hits now, or, look at what they've done. If it's all stuff that's in the way distant past, again, that might be a red flag too. Yeah.
One of the most important things, especially as those that create work, our songs are not meant for us. They're meant for the folks who need to hear them, and industry norms change like the wind, and so if you're always trying to create something that is going to be the flavor of this week, then you're really doing yourself a disservice as an artist. With that said, though, you still need to monitor the trends if you want to try to pitch to someone else. But if you are trying to hold true to yourself as an artist, you really you really can't, I don't think, follow these flavors of the month.
Yeah, that's very true. Tell us a little bit, before I forget to ask, where can people find you, your website? Where can they stream your stuff, buy it? Share that information with us, please.
Sure. Our flagship website is seeyourshadow.com, seeyourshadow.com. You can find us on Facebook. Facebook is our preferred social media platform, but we're on Twitter and Instagram, all the regulars. Our music is anywhere that you find digital music: Amazon, iTunes, iHeart, Spotify, of course. And I actually do encourage folks to look me up and find me personally on Facebook, Michael Coleman. You'll see me. Actually, the picture there right now doesn't have me with my cowboy hat on, because my hair has grown since COVID, and so I actually have updated my picture, but look for me on Facebook and send me a friend request, because I love to personally connect with other artists, with fans of our music, and I think you just never know where your next great song is coming from and your next great collaboration is coming from. So I really like to be in tune with our public.
Truer words have never been spoken. I loved what you just said. So I got the last question of the night for you, Michael. Other than music, do you have any hidden talents or surprising hobbies you want to share with us?
Let's see. You know what? I am. Let's see. Other than music, my hidden talent. I am really good at answering the Final Jeopardy question.
Okay. That's awesome.
I watch Jeopardy all the time, and I would say 9 times out of 10 I can get the Final Jeopardy question.
Okay, very cool. All right, Michael, I want to thank you so much for being on the show, and I'd love to have you on again sometime in the future.
Oh, I would love to be back on. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Michael. So to all our listeners out there, I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. I know your time is precious, and I really thank you for sharing just a little bit of it with us. Thank you for listening. I hope your own unique story gets heard around the world. My name is Sarantos. Please join me every Tuesday night to hear other awesome artists share their fascinating behind-the-scenes stories right here at the Songwriter Show. And tonight, I'm going to leave you with one of my instrumentals for my funeral CD instrumental. It's for anyone who's had to grieve or is actively grieving. And it's basically an instrumental featuring the cello in D major in the style of Guitarro. I hope you enjoy it. I love you guys. Thank you so much. See you next week.
Thank you for listening to The Songwriter Show. To keep the momentum going, head over to www.songwritershow.com and join our free music community of artists, songwriters, and producers. That's www.songwritershow.com.
Thank you for choosing Pesmo Radio.